What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Flex or Fade. I almost forgot the name of it. Good Lord, Ethan. It's week 5, baby. Where we talk about players that we're either flexing or fading. We try to find a guy in the same type of price range, same position, and really kind of discuss why we like and dislike each of them. So today we're talking Evan Stewart of Texas A&M. They go up against, I should know this beforehand, Ethan. This is an embarrassing one. They go up against Arkansas. I thought it was Arkansas, but it felt a little early for it. They have a team total of about 30. I am flexing Evan Stewart, and I think there's a couple big reasons why. One, he's just a complete target hog, right? The guy is he's an alpha receiver, right? So 11 and 17 targets in the first 2 weeks. He missed the third week. And I have a lot of Auburn background in me because obviously I've gone to a bunch of games. I follow them due to my wife. They are really good in the secondary. And, in hindsight, I should not have been surprised by kind of a lackluster performance. I think it was like 3 for 50 and a touchdown, which was still pretty decent, all things considered. They returned a preseason all SEC cornerback, I believe. And I think that kind of impacted that performance. They decided to go to Anaya Smith in the slot a lot more. And he had a big game instead. I don't see that continuing. I think, right, he's the true Stewart's the true alpha here. I think you would be shocked at how good Max Johnson's career stats are. We're going to do this one a little bit off the cuff here. What do you think? I was shocked myself. What do you think Max Johnson's career touchdown to interception ratio is?
Oh, man, I'd probably now I have expectation. Maybe 3-1.
Yeah, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. We all forget about how good he was in 2021. He transfers to A&M, and then he gets beat out by like Haynes King and some other guys, obviously. I think he's a really capable quarterback. I don't think he's as good as Weigman, but I think he's very capable. And he did, I believe the touchdown that Stewart caught last week was from Johnson. I'm not completely positive on that. So I do like Stewart in this one. I think they return back to their throwing to the outside receivers. Noah Thomas is back, but Noah Thomas was back, and Stewart still performed early on. So I'm looking forward to Stewart. His price is a little bit of aggressive number, all things considered, but I still think considering the usage and the potential for a big game, I really like him. So what about you, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Campus to Caching, where you gave us a little insight into that Auburn defense and tempered expectations last week, heading into it on what Stewart might be capable of, even with Weigman in there and what we expected. That being said, I knew that a lot of this argument really comes down to how much you trust that Auburn defense being a highly talented secondary. Just because the drop-off was so significant, not only in production, but also in usage. You mentioned the 11 and 17 target games to start the year, dropping all the way down to a 3-target performance. He caught all 3 of those passes last week against Auburn. But the volume is the big thing there. And so I think with those two arguments, they kind of contradict each other or maybe invalidate the other one with the fact that, okay, if Auburn's defense really is so staunch in the secondary, he still caught 100% of his targets. So did that secondary really lock him down and make that much of a difference? Or is it really the usage that comes into play with Max Johnson? Are they going to be leaning more on the ground game? Are they just finding other targets? You mentioned Anaya Smith getting more involved. Those shorter, lower ADOT passes for Max Johnson. There is the argument to be made that, a quarterback coming in cold off the bench is likely going to see that depressed ADOT more than a quarterback who has had a whole week as getting the starting reps. So there is that argument to be made, but when it comes down to it, I just have a really hard time assuming that he's going to have the full volume back, especially considering Noah Thomas last week. I don't think he was in for any of the game. So we're just adding another mouth to feed there. So I think that those two things are going to balance out. We're going to see Max Johnson a little bit more comfortable having a whole week as the starter. But we're going to see a few more guys in the fold with Noah Thomas in there, with Anaya Smith still getting some decent usage, and then just a little bit of an uptick in the ground game. I don't think he's going to have as low as volume as he had last week. But I would be shocked if we see him, cross that 9-10 target threshold that he had consistently been putting up early in the season. That being said, we are very curious what you guys think. We are two sides of the spectrum for this one, but there's a lot of gray area in between. And if you want to get into the weeds and discuss that with us in the Discord, we are always open to talk shop. Feel free to get in the comments and let us know if there's anything that you think we are overlooking with this matchup. But to sum it up, this week, Evan Stewart, Chris K will be flexing him. Myself, I will be fading. Have a great Saturday, guys.